Hello YouTube, it's William. Welcome to another introduction. As promised, this is the Woodsman's feather, okay? And the reason it's called the Woodsman's feather is because to me it looks like a feather and it's a pretty light knife. This will make a good neck knife. I mean, it's not the lightest knife in the world, but you know, it's not the heaviest either. All right, now let me go through the reason or the intent behind the design, and we'll go from there. Okay, this is the feather. This is the one that I showed everybody. Has the little puppy toes mosaic pins on it. This will be listed for sale as also. These knives are going to be on my available custom knives webpage. There's a couple of customs involved. This one's a Bacati with green puppy toes with lime green liners. That will be part of it. The majority of them, I think I have about a dozen that is available to purchase immediately. And like I say, all of these will be listed on the available custom knives webpage. If sales go fast, quickly, and there seems to be a demand for it, then I will add this to the production knife webpage. But I mean, that's getting a little crowded. I may have to take some things off and to add these. So it's just getting a lot pretty full. So anyway, but if there seems to be a lot of demand for it, then I'll do that. But anyway, back to the design. Before I get into the design, I know there's going to be some people who's going to say, well, this looks like the Canadian belt knife. Yes, it does. And let me show you. This is basically the Sportsman was designed off the Canadian belt knife. I love that blade design. I hated the handle. The handle was horrible. Still is horrible. But that blade design, I love it. So yeah, it kind of kicks back. The blade kicks back because I think that is a great. Let's see how the blade comes back, because when you're skinning, you want that blade at an angle so that it cuts the skin, and your hand is out of the way, or you're in the gut cavity or whatever. It will be morbid, but hey, we're hunters, right? Okay, so that was the reason for this blade being tilted back. Now, there is some subtle differences. It has a little bit more of a Nesma comp. Of course, it has the Woodsman's grind, which is a Scandi that flows into what I would call a blended saber, but it's more like a convexed grind. It's a full flat convexed, if that makes sense. But the cutting angle, like all Woodsman's grind, is the same angle. I don't know why people are still getting just paranoid about this grind. It's very simple, folks. If you can sharpen any knife, if you can sharpen a Scandi knife, just lay it on the Scandi like that and just follow it all the way through. It's the same angle all the way through. It's just an optical illusion. It just looks different, but it's not. Okay? So you just follow that. If you can sharpen a Scandi knife, you can sharpen this. Lay it up there, find the Scandi angle all the way through. Okay? Same on both sides. Scandi angle, follow it all the way through. All right? Same difference. Okay. So yeah, it was influenced by the Canadian belt knife, no doubt. Okay. There's a lot of differences, of completely different handle, and I'll get into the handle here shortly. The first one that resembled the Canadian belt knife is the Sportsman, and this is the Sportsman, and you can see that there still is an influence with the Sportsman, a little bit shorter blade, a little bit fatter, just a little bit odds and ends here and there. Of course, it has a Woodsman's grind, which the Sportsman comes only in saber or full flat. The handle is very, very similar, except I extended the handle all the way up instead of stopping it right here at the finger. Okay, it just creates a longer handle, more to grab onto, and I'll explain all this in a minute. The other knife that it'll probably be compared to is the Narrow. I don't have a finished Narrow, but this is the blade. If you can see the blade, and this one has a little bit more of a pronounced Nesma hump, and this right here, the Scandi portion, is more of a hump, whereas this one, it just kind of flows. Okay, blade length is very, very close. Okay, so it's maybe about 1/8 of an inch difference. Handle is pretty close, except there's different style handles. This handle is more of the wide mouth Coke bottle style handle. This is the more contours and finger grooves and things like that. And the reason I did that for this one was I envisioned this one to be basically field dressing. This is the knife you have with you when you're out hunting on the deer camp or whatever, and you're not actually going someplace on a trip and staying 3 or 4 days. This is the one to where you just left the house that morning, went out to deer camp, hunted that day, and then come back to the house type knife. This is the one you throw in your pack or put around your neck, and it's just there. It has the Scandi that goes into this thinner portion of the blade. Of course, thinner portions of the blade cuts, slices, and dices better. Okay, so it basically what it's doing is it's picking up the skin, lifting and separating, as my buddy Dan always says. You want a knife that'll lift and separate as you're slicing. Okay, but again, you have the Scandi there to do your fine feathers and whatever you need to do. Well, let me get in to do your wood carving and all this other stuff, which it got the little curve there, just a slight curve. It's not much to get excited about, but it does help you in your feathers and things like that. So if you know this knife is designed as that as a secondary function. Primary function is game prep, field dressing of game. Okay, and that's either quail size up to whitetail deer size. A lot of people even would prefer something like this for elk or even moose because there's a lot of control. See, I mean, right there you have a lot of control. The finger right there, you can control the whole blade, and the blade is short enough to where you can hold the tip, run up that gut cavity without puncturing any of the entrails or any of that stuff. Okay, so that is the design intent of this knife. It is primarily a game prep knife with light duty firecraft on the side, light duty carving on the side. So anyway, go to the website. I do have, like I said, about a dozen, baker's dozen, something like that, of these knives are readily available to ship out immediately. Please, if you want a sheath with this, then just select the Sportsman sheath, but please combine it in the same order. Please, folks, don't get excited and just hit the cart and then pay for it and then come back and say, oops, I forgot a sheath. Please add it to the same deal, because right now on the books, if I showed you, I got 5 pages of orders, counting SKs and everything else, and me trying to keep track of all that, and then somebody saying I ordered a sheath separate, I wouldn't doubt it. But if it's on the same order, I know before I ship that knife out, it says, hey, dummy, there's a sheath. So I get the sheath, okay? So please, try to combine everything on the same invoice. Add everything to the cart, just like a supermarket. Add it to the cart. Go back up to the menu, go to a different page, the sheath page, go down, select the sheath you want, select the options you want, add it to the cart. Go select another knife, add it to the cart. Go select another sheath. Keep adding to the cart until you get ready and say, okay, I'm done, I'm broke. I'm gonna go pay for it now. Then go pay for it, okay? All right. So it would certainly help me out, folks, tremendously. All right. If you have any questions, give me a call or give me an email or whatever. Real quickly, I'm gonna give you some specs. Pricing on these is about $230 just for the basic models. They'll be natural and black and OD green. Be some of these, of course, the ones with mosaic pins, and the wood will be more expensive than that. Anyway, the pricing is on the website at the Available Custom Knives webpage, and I'll put a direct link below for that webpage in the description. Blade length is 4 inches. Handle length is 5. Overall, of course, is going to be 9, right? That's what it is. It's 9. That's the rough specs. The width of the blade, right there at that point, is about 1.25 inches, give or take. All right, all these are hand ground. There will be blemishes. See that? See that little dark spot right there? These are hand stamped. If I was to grind this out, or even use sandpaper and grind this out, it's still going to be scratch marks on it. Okay, it's going to be taking metal off of it, so I leave it there. I don't just get excessive grind just to have a polished knife, because for me, I'm not into pretty. I'm pretty enough. So, but knives, I mean, a brush finish is about all you're going to get. There's going to be some that's going to have the little heat treat marks on that because it's a hand stamp. It's indented. So, you know, if you try to take it out, it's just going to grind more metal off. So, I'd rather have a knife that functions better, all right, than one that looks better. See, even on this one, right there, and focus. You see it? 9 times out of 10, they're going to have that type of marks on the blade. They're not going to be high polished, folks. None of my knives are high polished. If you want something to look at and admire, I'm not your guy. All right. If you want something that's going to stand with you and get as dirty as you do and work as hard as you do, I'm your man. All right. Okay, that's enough said. Till the next one, you guys get in the backyard whittle on a stick. Be sure and take a child with you. Get the opportunity. And don't forget those plenty of band-aids and lots of knives. We'll catch you again soon.